Welcome back to Ones to Watch on Footy Accumulators, powered by our friends at Football Index, the stock market for buying and selling shares in football players. I'm joined, as always, by Sir Alan McInally.
Thank
you.
How
are we, Al?
Good, no problems. Hopefully we'll be picking three today that certainly be ones to watch in 2020.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, try and help you out. Should we get stuck in then?
Yes.
Who's number one?
You know my favourite, Romelu Lukaku.
You're a fan of this guy, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I am kind of... I don't know. I mean, Everton did brilliant. Was it 80 million? They were happy to sell him to Manchester United. And as well as he did at Manchester United, there was always a negativity around Lukaku for whatever reason. People loved him, people didn't like him, or he looked as though he didn't do enough, or people thought he wasn't good enough to play for Manchester United, or his touch wasn't good enough, etc., etc. But he's gone to Italy, and he's been fantastic. He's been absolutely brilliant. He really has.
Do you not think now, though, the situation with Rashford being injured and being out for 2 to 3 months, could they not do with him, Manchester United?
Oh boy, could they ever? I mean, it's a kind of ironic position that Manchester United find themselves in, because it's not just Lukaku that's left. There's a couple of players have gone. And most of them could slip straight back into the team. Listen, I think he's always going to be a little bit Marmite. You're either going to love him or hate him, Lukaku. You've got to say he's done absolutely fantastic so far. I mean, he's joint second, third. He scored
second highest scorer in Serie A.
Yeah,
so he's doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever way Inter Milan are playing, it's certainly suiting him right down to the ground. I always thought he just wasn't, for Manchester United, when they looked for a figure up top, he maybe wasn't brilliant with his back to goal and his touch wasn't good enough. And he went through a spell of 5 or 6 games that nothing was going for him, and then he would come back in and he'd be fantastic and people would change their mind. I think he's always going to be like that. But there'll still be plenty of people looking at Lukaku. And again, of course, we're looking at him on Football Index, because it's not whether you like him, whether you don't, it's whether or not can he in Football Index, can his share price get to a position where I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
Media dividends as well, which we know pay out. So.
I'm a huge thing on media. It's not just performance-wise, it's about the media side of things as well on Football Index. And of course, with him being involved in 2020, with the Euros, with Belgium, with scoring goals for them and scoring goals for Inter Milan, he's always going to be sought after, he is, Lukaku.
He certainly is. Well, he's been up and down on Football Index, but his price has very much been on the rise in the last month. He started January around the £1.85 mark and is currently priced at £2.7. So definitely worth keeping an eye on as we head towards the Euros this summer. Right then, Al, who's our next one to watch?
I'm going to go for Oxlade-Chamberlain.
The Ox.
Yeah, the Ox. I think he's been fantastic. Really struggled with that injury problem he had at Liverpool at the beginning, but I thought he was fabulous. I know he got substituted against Manchester United, but in terms of Liverpool and England, I think he's in the right path.
He is. He's become a very crucial part of Klopp's Liverpool side, hasn't he?
Definitely. I mean, that was a huge game at the weekend, and I think Klopp trusts him to play in that position. I think he really does. The formation suits him as well, and he's a good player. Again, he's one of them. I'm like, you've got more for me. I want you to give me. I don't know whether you're playing way within himself, or whether he's got to a level there's nothing more going to come. But I'm sure there is.
Well, I mean, that's pretty impressive. If he's so good now, and you think there's still more to come,
yeah,
do you see him starting in the England squad?
Well, again, we look at formations and how we think why he might be one to watch on Football Index, which is for the simple reason that I think England will probably play 4. They'll play 2 holding midfield players, which will be Rice and Henderson, presumably, because he loves both of them. But the three players, and I will mention right now Jadon Sancho, who's at Dortmund, he'll probably expect to play on the right-hand side. I think that's where Ox can make a big impact with England. I genuinely do. On the left-hand side, I think Sterling is almost an automatic choice. I think that's exactly what Gareth will want. And Dyer, depending on, Dele Alli rather, depending on his form, who plays in the middle. I think Ox can also play in the middle, but I think he prefers to play on the right-hand side, depending on, of course, who's fit up top for England. But I think he can play there, no problem for England, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Absolutely. Well, you said, it's like he's got a little bit more to give. Where can you see room for improvement in him?
Well, we look briefly at some graphics. Now, the goals he gets is not good enough.
Yeah, 1 goal in 14 games this season.
Yeah, for Chelsea, that's not good enough. For Manchester United, it's not good enough. For Liverpool, it's not good enough. For Arsenal, it's not good enough. For Man City, it's not good enough. In a team that has loads of chances, loads of possession, I'd be looking for him to get me at least 8 to 10 goals a season. At least Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's powerful, he's got a good shot, and he normally knows where the goal is. So it's not a criticism, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I know you've got it in there.
Bring it out.
Give me some more goals. So that was the other thing, of course, is is the injury problems he's had. I mean, we've got a bit of a start on the injury problems. There's been play, injured for long periods of time, which always is a football player. It's difficult to keep that fitness at this high level that he needs. But right now, if Klopp trusts him, he's a starter at Liverpool, which means his fitness is good, which means it can only be good for England. And I think the boy is certainly one to watch, again, looking towards the Euros and all the media side that will come with Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he's certainly one to keep on the right side in 2020 on Football Index.
I certainly agree with you. Well, it's been an up and down year for Oxlade-Chamberlain. No doubt the injuries that Al's discussed there have been playing a key role in that. His price is now £1.80, which is almost as high as he's been in the last year, and his 3-month rise of around 40p, so a big rise that, isn't it?
40p.
Yeah, suggests he's a player that's one to watch in 2020 with the on-field potential ahead of him.
Absolutely.
Our third and final one to watch then today, Al.
One of the biggest misses that Man City could possibly have not wanted to lose is Aymeric Laporte. Good news, he's got back to training, apparently. I don't know about full training, but hopefully he might play towards this weekend. His comparison to Virgil van Dijk will always be there because Virgil's looked as the best defender at the moment. But his loss to Manchester City is exactly a reflection on the results they've been getting lately.
How would you compare him to Virgil van Dijk?
Well, Virgil's good looking, he knows where the danger is, he can header the ball out all the time, he scores goals, and he...
The opposite of yourself, really.
Yeah, kind of like that. a direct reflection. You know, he's a good dancer, he's a blah, blah. Listen, Van Dijk can do it all, and he's important to that Liverpool team, not only in stopping the goals going in, but the confidence he brings within the team, as well as being a danger to scoring goals. Laporte's the problem for Manchester City not being available. Fernandinho's tried his very best, who incidentally is a brilliant football player. He's not a centre-half. Laporte coming back into the team, I think on Football Index, is one to watch in 2020. We'll be involved all summer, and I just think it's difficult to compare him to Virgil van Dijk. They've both got wonderful qualities. Virgil's the best, but Laporte is important for Manchester City.
He is very significant. So in your opinion then, Al, what's Manchester City's strongest back four?
Well, this is your choice, it's not mine.
No, it's not. It's your choice.
Is it? Well, I'm not going to have John Stones for the simple reason that I think there is, every now and again, John sort of brings his problems on himself. I mean, he was blamed for the equaliser at Palace at the weekend, and to a certain extent, yeah, okay. But my back four would be, I'd have Otamendi because he's a grafter. He's like a street fighter.
Unstoppable.
Kind of. And Pep went through a spell loving him to bits. I think if he plays him beside Laporte, I think that'll help Otamendi. The fullbacks are a bigger problem for me. You know, Zinchenko and Mendy on one side, and help me in the Cancelo and Walker on the right. I like Walker because he's rapid. I think he's always an out for them, and I think he's a goal threat as well, although to be fair, he doesn't get many goals from right back, but he'll certainly put himself in a position where he's going to get plenty of assists. The left-hand side is a problem. Zinchenko's done nothing wrong, but I like Mendy. I think Mendy's got a little bit about him, he's got more character, so I'd go Mendy, Laporte, Otamendi and Walker.
Alan McInally, thank you very much.
You're
well,
welcome.
Laporte's football index price has been steadily rising over the last 3 months as he gets closer to a return to full fitness. He's now £1.89, which is a 3-month rise of around 20p, so again, pretty good that, Al. His importance to Pep Guardiola's Man City team after such a long time out means he's well worth keeping an eye on. Right, that's it.
Pretty good, yeah. I think there are three certainly that in 2020 we might just be staying on the right side of. So
I'm happy with that selection. I
Good.
think you've done well.
I'm
well
delighted.
done,
As
Al
long as you're happy, we're all happy.
Thank you for joining us. Right, if you haven't used Football Index yet and you do fancy giving it a try but you're not enjoying it, then within the first 7 days you can instant sell all your shares and email them to have your losses refunded up to £500. Remember, you must be over 18 to use Football Index, and please always make sure that you're using it responsibly. Myself and Sir Alan McInally will be back with you next week.